They got me feeling like I'm academics. Can't.
Okay. So I texted, I said, I'm on stream. I wanted to call you about the YG stuff with your tweet to get the clarification on it. I think you said it was taken out of context. I'll be live, though. Not sure if you're fine with that. Okay. All right. So let's start from the beginning. All right. So there's this idea that the police have now reopened this investigation into Drakeo the Ruler's death. Drakeo the Ruler, as we've, watched, we've kind of watched recently in these documentaries that kind of detail his demise, unfortunately, is a rapper out of California that ended up dying at a festival. He supposedly did a lot of time in jail. Not supposedly he did a lot of time in jail. He came out and he kind of was like dissing a lot of hoods, right? And people like that. He dropped a song called Ingleweird that he took aim at a few particular sections of gang members. And it was one of those things that people were looking at and they think this is a tried and true method. This is a 6ix9ine method where you diss everybody, but nobody sees you. Except Drakeo the Ruler was a guy that was kind of like notorious for not only popping the shit, he kind of was standing on business. Apparently, like he had been accused of bodies and all these other things. So it was a guy that was active. Anyway, he wasn't the biggest rapper, even though he did get a Drake feature in late like 2021, right after the pandemic. It became a very tense situation between him and other LA rappers. He was getting more popular. I think what his group is called, I don't think it's a gang, Distinct Team or whatever. And he was getting into it with a lot of people. He goes to this show. And by the way, one of the people notoriously who was kind of like getting aimed at by his like lyrics and vitriol was YG. YG goes on No Jumper. They ask YG, like, yo, what do you think about that? And he basically says, yo, listen, I'm not going to do this internet back and forth with people. The homies is going to get you. Now, I'll play that real quick. Well, here, we can't even, here we go.
We not beefing, we really beefing. The homies gonna get you. That beef and all that. We not rap beefing, we really beefing. The homies gonna get you.
Now, a lot of people actually believe that the homies got Drakeo the Ruler. How? Well, after, Drakeo the Ruler dropped the song Ingleweird, right? Where also, I think he's on another song rapping about YG being shot, almost kind of like he was taking credit for it. So he was clowning YG for being shot in the hip. If you don't remember, a couple years ago, YG was shot in the hip at a studio. Luckily, he survived. But this was 2015. He was shot in the hip. It was 3 bullet wounds, and it was at a Los Angeles recording studio. Okay? Drakeo raps about YG being shot. Okay? And, yeah. Hold on. I forgot what's the song. Is it Ingleweird? Or is the other song? Anyway. Okay. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Thank you to the reels.
They start. As soon as we hit outside, they start boom, 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 sparking. I fall back. In the crib, I'm shot. You feel me? I'm over there. I'm hit. I'm this nigga shot me. This nigga. You just hear more shots. Mac, 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 mac. I got hit in the hip. I got lucky.
Pizza party, not delivery, it's the journal. I'm finna put 90 shots in his torso.
Ooh, so that's the bar. I'm finna put 90 shots in his torso, which is, kind of around the area where your hip is.
But he meant to stop and go, lock and load, no warnings. He's a rapper, but I made his hip rock and roll.
He's a rapper, but I made his hip rock and roll, okay? Acting like he was doing a little Uzi. You know that little dance Uzi guy? You know what I mean?
As soon as we hit outside, they start boom.
So, essentially, I'm painting a picture of while we are, like, and it's kind of like some Chicago shit, right? It's like kind of like some Jacksonville shit, kind of like some Memphis shit, where there's real actions happening while these lyrics are going down. Now, did Drakeo the Ruler shoot YG? I have no idea. I would say what the streets is saying, But these days, when I just go to Flacco to get the streets opinion. Flacco is the streets now. Anyway, so people think, like they were into it. So Drakeo, which this happens all the time. This happens all the time. And I want to put out this warning for rappers. I want to put out this warning for rappers and anybody in this music business. This music business, there's street always adjacent to it. And it's usually a numbers game or a gun game. That's just the reality of it. There's you're not going to run into somebody you don't like and say, let's catch a fair one. What do I mean? It's a numbers game. If you run into a guy you don't like and he has 50 niggas and you have 5, it's going to be a long day. The reality of it is you kind of have to match the energy of what your enemy has. Now, when your enemy is a big rapper, your enemy could bring out 50 people. Or let's say they go to Rolling Loud. Rolling Loud made significant changes because that became the case. They would give their highest performer an unlimited amount of passes. And then someone who was third line or fourth line on the bill, they would be like, hey, you just get like 5. Now, if those two rappers have beef, you're cooked. That's how many rappers have gotten jumped, gotten pressed. And in this situation, obviously it didn't happen in Rolling Loud, so I want to clear their name. That's how someone got killed. So Drakeo the Ruler gets it appears like probably less than 10 passes. To go into this West Coast, super ganged out, and again, I don't know if you guys are from California, have been to California, it's heavy on the gang shit. It's heavy. It's heavy on it. So, YG, who at least in the West Coast ecosystem is a big fish, he's telling all his dusty niggas from his hood, don't get mad at me, bro, I'm just telling the truth, yo, come through. This is probably the first time they've left their block, whether it's Cedar Block or whatever. I don't know what block he's from. Or the Treetop Block. Is it Treetop? I don't know. So these guys is coming out. And honestly, broke is a joke. They're trying to do anything to stay on the team, on the payroll for YG. And also, they flexing for their bitches. Yo, I'm backstage at this shit cut. No, it was blood. So everybody's out there. The guys who never even leave the house is out there. Drakeo the Ruler pulls up. They get into a scuffle. Drakeo the Ruler gets stabbed supposedly a bunch of times, and there was a deep laceration in his neck. Essentially, the cause of death, he drowned on his own blood. Very gruesome. Very unfortunate. When you look back at it from the videos we see, it appears that some members of YG's, let's not say YG because we don't know if it's YG. Well, I guess we do because they claim they seen YG security in the mix, fighting. Now, they believe YG was also fighting, but he had a mask on, but that's unproven. But here's the interesting part about it. When this goes down, the people with supposedly YG's crew, and it's now being kind of singled out like, listen, whoever did this is probably a nigga with YG's crew. Or YG. It appears that they were armed with makeshift, like almost shanks that were meant to evade whatever check-in that was going to be done at the front. And basically they came there on some prison shit, but they didn't come to squabble up, as Kendrick would say. They came to catch a body. Now, did they come to kill Drakeo? We don't know. But they weren't into the squabbling. He dies. The case has been sitting pretty much seemingly as a cold case for years until the internet, and this is why I love the West Coast. West Coast podcasters might as well have a gun and a badge. The streets, or the street niggas from West Coast podcast, that podcast on the West Coast, because their music knowledge is not the one proprietary thing that they have, that if they give insight about maybe a Drake album or, I don't know, a J. Cole album, that'll have them stick out. What they do is they rely on telling hood stories. Well, here's the thing. enough of them told enough hood stories that the police have found new leads from their podcasting. It's amazing. The police were clueless. The police had nowhere to go. The police was gonna let this shit just rock. Which, by the way, unheard of. In modern times where there's so much technology, we literally saw the Julio Fulio killers. Remind me to talk about it in a second. We saw them in 4K. They thought, yo, this dude ran around the car with a gun like he was Al Pacino. We're watching these guys. We can see the pimple on their face, the sweat beating up, coming down. That's how clear cameras is in 2026. Yet, at a very public event, granted, there might have not been a lot of cameras, but come on, everyone has at least one camera phone. There is hundreds of eyewitnesses. The police were at a loss of finding new leads to arrest whoever murdered Drakeo the Ruler. So when the police run out of options, you know what they do? They watch podcasts. Thanks to No Jumper, thanks to Clubhouse, thanks to these amazing platforms. And I'm not blaming the people who own these platforms either. Yo, if niggas wanna help crack the case, who are, you know what I mean? Just give them the mic. What's the problem? So the talking and yapping has gotten the attention of the police. This case is back, open, and hot. What does that mean? The police, with the DA, they're firing off subpoenas. They now want to do, let's go search this property. We want your phone. We want to, they're now doing things that they should have done then, but they didn't have much leads. So what have they done? They showed up to No Jumper trying to request footage. They wanted to talk to not only Adam 22, but one of his hosts that supposedly had uttered, hey, listen, the nigga who killed Drakeo, me and him, we passed the ball back and forth every week. That was ridiculous. Now, to be fair to him, he did come back on my platform. Well, he didn't say it on my platform, but he came on my platform to defend himself. And he said, that could mean anything. And that's right. It's freedom of speech. But I do want to remind these LA guys, maybe Home Depot. I don't know if it's a thing anymore. Where, like, if you need a job, you can just go outside of Home Depot. You know, Trump is deporting all the Mexicans. So, like, this is y'all time, right? Like, if you black, you in a gang, tuck your rag, okay? Put your construction boots on and go in front of Home Depot. If your way to make money as a former gang member or street nigga, because this is how they're all excusing it. Well, I got to make some money. It's to go on a podcast and discuss crimes that you've committed, you've witnessed, your homies that are also being looked at committed. You probably want to find another profession. There's a lot of ways to make money. That probably isn't the smartest one. But no one's going to listen to me. $300 from No Jumper will get, listen, if the feds paid these niggas $500, they would walk into the interrogation room and drop 30 every fucking week. Yo, y'all ran out of tape? Yo, I still got more to tell y'all. Cut that back on. On the damn homies, I got more to tell you. Nah, I ain't tell you about the part where he took the gun and gun butt. That's how they're doing it in LA. Don't be surprised, chat. This has been happening for 3 years. That we're seeing podcast shit in every single LA indictment. And not one of them has said, maybe we should stop. In fact, they all keep saying, that's public information. Like, okay, perfect. Gotcha. You can't find no other region. Not in Florida. And there's people who do Florida content. Not in Atlanta. Not even in New York. There's a lot of New York bloggers, this and third. There's even hood bloggers in New York. We don't see where they're quoting. This person comes and does a podcast, or this person gets online habitually and consistently gives us stories and clues about crimes we're investigating. I don't know what it is about LA, but they're addicted to podcasting and addicted to being in Ricos. You know how you could tell these podcasters don't be capping? Because every time they tell us a story that we're kikiing and laughing about, and we're like, nah, that couldn't have happened. Wait, I chased Future where? Hell nah. We see it in an indictment later. Oh, shit. It did happen. Oh, shit. Oh, y'all ain't, loose cannon, y'all did not do that. Oh, shit. Yeah, I did. I did. Wow, perfect. I don't know what it is. It's a syndrome that only affects LA. I've seen, DJU does a podcast for Chicago. I don't see it happening there. Maybe people just die and they don't even get to court. Probably it. But I've never seen routinely where the criminal element is basically, and I can't blame, I don't want nobody blame Adam 22, No Jumper, do not blame Vlad. West Coast gangbangers do their depositions and interrogations every single week. They'll say one thing, and they don't even leave it there and be like, oh, shit, I shouldn't have said that. They come back and clarify. Oh, hold on. You know when I said he had the gun? Now, he had the gun, but he ain't fired. He actually gave it to his man. You know, nigga with a pimple? He got like a missing tooth. Yeah, he the one who fired the shit. Oh, word. With all due respect to the West Coast, I'm not going to lie. You know they used to say, y'all do a better job than Vlad TV at solving a crime. I appreciate you niggas for cleaning up the fucking streets. You know why? When they're telling the stories, they're just implicating niggas around. They're not even telling on their enemies. I would respect it a little bit more if it's like they tell stories, but they'd be like, yeah, you know John we beefing from over there? Yo, that nigga killed that nigga. So they should lock up John. That's your enemy. They telling the stories about their friends. Yeah, it's me and my man's over there like, yo, come on camera real quick. Come on camera. Crazy. But we love LA. Because without LA, how could we ever be so entertained? Thank you, LA podcasters. You guys have broken the record for the most indictments that you could get. Your stories, your tales, your supposed street knowledge into. I appreciate. Oh, and the most investigations you've helped open up. Anyway. So the police are back on it. It's actually California Highway Patrol. They're taking over the investigation. They issued some subpoenas. They're probably going to try to get subpoena for possible tape from No Jumper to see if maybe they got surveillance tape of these niggas talking about this shit and, like, yo, who really killed him? Whatever. They want to talk to Adam because Adam's a platform owner. They want to know, and he's going to have to answer accurately. Hey, have they ever told you this off record? What do you know? Have you seen them with a gun? They're going to want to talk to Munchie B. Okay? They issued a subpoena and they detained YG while they searched what he got going on. Now, let me tell you how that usually works. If they're at the point of getting a subpoena, okay. To get a subpoena, you need probable cause. To press charge, you need probable cause. But it's different probable cause. Probable cause for a subpoena means there might be evidence of a crime. Probable cause for a charge is there is evidence. It's most likely, or there's probable cause that there's evidence the crime occurred. Not evidence that might prove a crime, evidence the crime occurred. So usually once they start issuing search warrants, that's usually a final step method to kind of go over everything to submit to a grand jury. So this is no longer a cold case sitting on the shelf. This is, let's issue all these subpoenas. They're probably going back to they're going to do it to Twitter, Meta, Snapchat, whatever. They're going to look through everything. If they detain him, usually a lot of these subpoenas are done in quiet. So they'll be looking at your shit or they'll tap your phone. You don't know. When they'll let you know we're on, that means it's in the final stages because then you're now tipped off. So whatever info they're coming with YG, they're going to submit to a grand jury. And again, it might not be YG. It might be a YG affiliate. Or you never know, it might be YG and others. California's been big on RICOs recently. Anyway, I want to get to this really quickly because we do have Karen Civil who's waiting for us to call. So YG tweeted something about a week after he was detained. Okay? YG actually tweeted out after he saw a clip where Glasses Malone, and Glasses Malone is a LA podcaster, and I'm not too sure if he's one of the ones that, like, you know, describes murders and self-snitches as well, but I will say Glasses Malone is one of the podcaster that I've heard in hip-hop discussion talk about or encourage what people should do in response to hip-hop things. I've heard him say about things about, oh, if it was so-and-so, I forgot the name of the rappers, I don't know if it was Drake, but she was like, shoot his house up. And I was like, okay. All right, cool. Okay. That's how they're kind of giving it up out there. That's kind of Glasses Malone's thing. I guess he's a Crip. And with him, you know, I've heard him kind of had, like, you know, when he was talking to someone about me, he's like, well, I don't really believe these hip hop niggas until they stomp Akademiks out. And it's kind of one of those, you're kind of like, you know, you're kind of saying something, but you're trying to enabling other niggas to do it because you're not going to do it. Nevertheless, everybody has different styles of podcasting. Do I really care that he said that? I don't care. I mean, I move around like my life is in thread all the time, so it doesn't matter. But his rhetoric and him being from LA, it's always kind of out there, okay? Now, instead of analyzing why this is happening, and I just explained for 10, 15 minutes or 20 minutes why this is happening, Glasses Malone has the most brilliant take of why the police is detaining YG and searching him. No, it's not one of his fellow B-team blood members saying that they passed the bottle back and forth with the killer. It's not a circulating video where details the stabbing and murder of Drakeo the Ruler and his bodyguard is on camera. None of those things. That's too easy of an answer. His reason why the cops are targeting YG is Drake paid for it. I know. Don't believe me, just watch.
We have 700 to 1,000 viewers in here because it's not about Drake. I could kick Cuz back in. You want me to?
That's crazy.
You want me to put 1,000 people in here?
That's crazy. For him. He
You
needs
want
the
me to put
numbers.
1,000 people in here for him?
What kind of statement is that?
That's what I'm
what's
trying
that
to say.
statement
Like,
trying
what
to
kind of-
prove? Like, what does the statement
I
say?
don't
You want me
get
to go? I got some things in my mind, Cuz, that I didn't talk about.
He wants to hear about Drake.
Yeah.
He
I think,
does.
Is that the way he trying to get?
Yeah, is that the
niggas
way
You want
he
me to
wants to
start
hear?
kicking Cuz back in right now?
Like, what is? Why don't?
Like, I don't think y'all understand this. Cuz don't like when I kick his back in because I'm not the rest of these niggas. See, he can spend that money and fuck with YG life. He can spend that money and fuck with YG life. Let me tell you what his mark ass is doing. He's spending money and financing Drakeo campaign cuz to try to fuck with this boy life and get him arrested because he mad about a battle. He started playing me like that because I swear to God, that little shit will get shot up and all that shit. I'll make his life horrible.
That was rhetoric. So he was talking about Drake. So he is one of the podcasters. I don't know. I've heard him with the rhetoric of what he would do when tested. Someone tell me different. I've always thought Glasses Malone was the kind of educated brother that's also gang affiliated. At times, I hear him speak like he's Taxstone, except Taxstone was really bringing that thing around and shot niggas, obviously like an idiot, and went to jail just to prove how real he is. By the way, real nigga Taxstone, hold it down, my brother. I'm wondering, is Glasses Malone like that? The way he's talking about it, he'll shoot some shit up. I'm like, wait, is he going to go to Canada and do that? What is he talking about shooting up? Is this something in his history? Because that's another thing. Is it in his history that when he has had problem with other men and they tried to quote unquote play with him, does he get to gunplay? It is very important for me to know that because a little bit of this, and yes, he might be a million times tougher than me, but you're kind of peacocking here and like you're kind of doing the most, acting like, and you know they said I was putting a battery in certain people's backs in Chicago. That's what you're doing. Because if you're the podcaster saying that if people fuck with you, you would shoot shit up, aren't you kind of insinuating that if YG the type of nigga we think he is, and if he agree with you that Drake fucking with him, maybe he should shoot some shit up? And if he don't, what does that make him compared to you? These are all insinuations, and I'm using the same rules that y'all tried to use with me before. Because y'all said when I use satire talking about Chicago, I made it where people felt like they had to go do something. Or when you said, oh, they upped the score, the other people felt they got to go kill some. That's how they try to put it on me. Pause. So I'm asking about Glasses Malone. He says Drake is trying to fuck with YG. He says if Drake tried to fuck with him like that, let's hear his own words on what he would do.
Because I swear to God, that little shit will get shot up and all that shit.
Okay. So with that, by the logic I'm putting down, is that him saying, YG, if you like that, you need to go shoot that shit up? I'll leave that there. You guys pick it up where you want. Let's keep listening.
Because I swear to God, that little shit will get shot up and all that shit. I'll make his life horrible. All that shit he living in out here, cuz that shit will get burnt up.
Oh, now we all know that Drake has a LA property. One that he was trying to sell for a while. Hasn't sold it yet. I believe we could look it up on the market. Drake LA house. He makes a third attempt to try to sell the lavish property. Is that a smoke signal from podcaster and well-decorated Crip Glasses Malone saying to people, well, if y'all like that, and he got a house out there, the $79 million Crip, go burn that shit down. I wonder if that's inciting violence or not. Okay? Regardless, I'm just analyzing the content. Let's keep it going.
See, the difference is, cuz, it's like real power. See, that's rented power. You rent it, you pay for it. Real power, cuz, is when it's actually real, when niggas will do it for you just for the measure.
That part.
You don't want me to start kicking cuz back in. You want me to start announcing to the world exactly what type of hoe ass shit he doing. See, Harry, y'all be fans of cuz, and y'all want me to go. I'm not really tripping about, it's not an important topic, cuz. You wanted to do it. This ain't no conspiracy. This is a fact.
I will say this, though. DJ Dickhead and Glasses Malone are two podcasters from the West Coast that I've noticed. They've taken the battle to a very, like, personal level. Like, personal. And I'm gonna somebody somewhere is gonna think they're smart. They're gonna be like in the comments, well, Ak, you have to. I want to tell you the big difference. Okay? I'm mentioned by both people in the battle. Okay? I try to go to a concert of Kendrick Lamar. His people step to me. If anyone should take it personal, I think I got a little case. I don't think Drake knows these niggas exist. That's the thing. Of course, they can have whatever opinion. But I think they're thinking that Drake is kind of like back and forth with them. Like, I think Glasses Malone and DJ Dickhead actually think that Drake is doing shit to, like, piss them off. And I'm like, you know, when he's like, yo, I got 700 people in the chat. I think he think Drake is in there. I'm like, bro, respectfully? Like respectful. I don't think it kind of works like that, bro. Like, you just cater to the anti-Drake audience, and it's fine. But it's not that personal. And when I'm saying it's not that personal, I'm not saying you should like Drake. But when he's like, yo, if you did that to me, I'll shoot the shit up. I'm like, oh, wow. Tell me more.
And you wouldn't care it's a fact or not, because you can't get cuz dick from out your fucking tonsils. I know, cuz you don't know, cuz you a fucking fan. And you not listening to me, cuz you so busy thinking you gotta like cuz music. You don't want me kicking this back in, because I'm not the rest of these niggas. I don't get emotional when I'm talking to Buddy. I get emotional when I'm talking to you. The fact that you want me to kick Cuz back in. I have avoided talking about this shit because I'm like, you know what, Cuz? I knew how much y'all look up to Cuz and y'all like niggas that got pissed on and all this old punk ass shit y'all like. But I could turn this motherfucker up in my sleep. And I'm not the rest of these niggas, Cuz, and ain't nothing he could do about it.
Oh, shit.
I'm not, and he'll tell you I'm not the rest of these niggas. It ain't nothing he could do about it.
Yo, you know, Kendrick said you waiting for Chubbs to crash something? I'm waiting for glasses to crash something. I go, the way he talking, yo, I'm waiting for glasses to crash something. I kind of like, I like tough talk when it comes from tough niggas. Pause. Like real, when I knew like King Von was clapping niggas, pause, like he was really killing them. When he talked tough, it hit different. I ain't gonna lie. I'm like, yo, King Von really doing that shit. I need one example from Glasses Malone. I'm like, damn, my boy really doing it. Other than that, you know what I mean? I just think he's podcasting.
You start playing them games with me because I'm not none of them niggas.
Oh, shit.
I'm on all the bullshit.
Word.
So you don't want me to start talking about Cuz.
Oh,
it was hell when I was talking about Cuz.
All right. So as the caption says, Glasses Malone claims Drake has been financing a campaign to fuck with YG, get him arrested over Drakeo the Ruler's case. Okay? He said he's avoided speaking on it until now. He claims he knows more behind the scenes and warns he'll expose what type of shit he's doing. Now, YG actually put this up on his Instagram, and what was this caption? So Glasses Malone revealed to some BTS fuck shit Aubrey's doing to fuck with YG. According to him, Aubrey's funding propaganda and trying to get YG arrested for Drakeo the Ruler's death. He also revealed there's more BTS shit he's doing the world don't know about. YG posted that, and he said, "Say it ain't so," with a bunch of thinking emojis. Now, he didn't only stop there. He then said, "Red alert! Red alert. B-Team, tap in!" And I ain't gonna lie, like I felt like it was a movie when he said that. Like, B-Team, unite! I want to see everybody like with the B-Team just throwing up their signs and shit. Anyway, so he alerted all the Bloods from California all the way to Quebec that if you guys are really on the B-Team, and the B-Team is the Blood team. Now, YG's like, he's like one of the top ranked Blood dudes. I don't know, allegedly. I don't know what's going on. So he's telling them they might, it's like Trump on Truth Social saying, yo, everybody grab your guns. Iran might be invaded. So he basically told the B team to go grab their chopper and wait for further instructions. Okay? It's a red alert. So the B team must stand on standby until YG gives the order on what to do. Now, I don't think he's given an order on what to do, but you never know. Keep in mind, the last time we heard him give such an order, allegedly, he says we not rap beefing, we really beefing. The homies gonna get you. And the homies got their guy. So we know the B team is like Navy SEALs. Like, you know what I mean? It's like the Mossad, like he's like MI6 type of niggas. Like, this is like the B team are some dudes who could get somebody wiped off the map. So, from that perspective, we are trying to see, are the B team going to launch an attack on Drake? Makes sense, right? Exactly. Now, someone who we do know, Karen Civil, she commented on something, and it threw her into the mix. Now, Karen Civil has worked with Nipsey Hussle and YG. I think probably even continues to work with YG. And she commented on a post after it says, on the latest episode of the Lunch Hour with Glasses Malone, he puts a fan in his place who was talking about who was helping fund the Drakeo the Ruler campaign against YG. She says, turn this up. She later deleted this. Okay? Now, Karen Civil is a known industry fixer. It's I want to give her a name. She's a industry. She's like a media maven. She's like really. I've always said, what's that girl from You ever watch that one show where it has the black chick who be saving the president's ass? Like you know what I'm talking about? And you know what I'm talking about? You about to tell me. She's that person. She's a fixer. Scandal, yes. She's that. Like she's exactly that. Your career goes a lot smoother if you have her. Let's just say that. All right. Rappers do dumb shit. Like, you know, you dealing with a regular rapper. This week he slapped his bitch. Next week, like, he ran somebody over with a car. The next day they had a brawl at the club. And Karen Civil is the one to distract people, to show backpack giveaways, to make you look like a goddamn angel when you're a drugged out rapper. You're a fiend that's just doing fuck shit and fucking it up. She's going to make sure your PR is good. She'll, like, you know, fix certain stuff before it hit the press. She'll do her play. And by the way, it's really good for any entertainer to, you know, have a Karen Civil. Not necessarily her, but a Karen Civil. Anyway, she put this, and people have been saying, well, what's going on here? Karen Civil, well, why would she even say such a thing like this? Well, we're going to call Karen Civil. Karen Civil is going to be able to speak for herself. Here we go.